MT here at Poplar Village Gardens. Me and my spouse have been volunteering here for maybe about a year or so. We just help weed and garden and water and get our hands dirty, as you can see. It's really awesome to be a part of a community where you can see the direct impact of your actions and be a part of a community that wants to see things grow and provide for other people.
Good afternoon. This is Diana Hart, the garden director at Poplar Village Gardens, and we're over at the community garden today. Last year in April, we installed this community garden, which is 20 raised garden beds, 2 benches, a couple of fruit trees, some native plantings, and a shade tree. And I wanted to give you an update on what all was going on over here today. We haven't been over here very much, and it needed a little bit of love, but this is a good time for me to share our plan with you. The little oak tree that's here was the first tree that was planted on this property. This was planted by the Girl Scouts as one of their projects, and that was about 2 years ago, and this tree seems to be doing really well, and it's managed to survive all the activity that we've got going on here. This will become shade for the seating area that we have here as well, but it is on the north side of the property, so it won't shade any of our growing areas. Right here in 2 different places on the outside of the property, we have installed American plum. This is a native to this part of Indiana, and it will get a little bit shrubby, and we're probably going to keep our eye on it and decide how shrubby we want it to get. The reason being, we want for these bushes, these trees, to give fruit to the neighborhood, and so we do want it to be within reach for people that are passing by. We've put them next to the seating areas because I think that it's ideal when they're flowering. They're absolutely beautiful. It will be something really nice for people to look at. I just wanted to mention this little plum tree right here. This is the plum tree that we planted last year that actually survived the season. The other one never did grow leaves, and it was completely dead this spring, so we had to replace it. But this one here, unfortunately, somebody came and sawed off the main stem of the tree, and I was really heartbroken. But like I always say, those natives, they really want to live. And when I was over here looking at it, a few weeks ago, I saw that there were little green shoots coming out of the base of this plant. And if you look now, you can see that it is definitely working towards living and doing its very best to become a big tree. One of the reasons that we came over here today was because there were a lot of trees growing up in the lot and some growth that we really felt was going to cause problems with neighborhood code and plant height and a number of other things. And this is our overflow bin for our commercial yard waste composting, and it is pretty full, and the other one is completely packed full. So we have gotten in a good day removing trees and other things that we definitely do not want in the yard. Now this area right here, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the plan for the pathways in this community garden. Last year we did an entire workshop on growing food safely in an urban environment. We had the soil tested here, and based on the soil testing results, we had to put in 4 inches of mulch over the entire property. Now this year, as we maintain this property, we are allowing certain things to grow because I felt that the pathways, the mulch in the pathways was not meant to keep the weeds out per se, but to put a barrier between us and the lead that's in the soil underneath. So what we are allowing is we are allowing these low-growing plants to take over in this area and become the carpet over the mulch for the pathways. Of Poplar Village Gardens is building community while growing food together. And I think that this community garden has done exactly what we intended in reaching out to the neighbors. We had one gardener in a couple of these plots last summer, and he set up a whole rainwater catchment system on his bed so that he could catch rainwater. He lives across the street, and he has been very kindly kind of looking over the property and letting me know if there's anything going on that I haven't noticed. One of the things that he's done is he has built these climbers for these 2 beds, and these are beds that he's not even gardening in. He is contributing his talent to the benefit of the community through the community garden. Some of the things that we have planted here are things that we feel are going to continue in perpetuity for the benefit of the community, and this dill right here is an example of that. We planted it profusely. It is an annual. It reseeds itself generously, and so it definitely will come back. It'll probably come back in some very unexpected places, but there will be plenty for everyone in the neighborhood. And so this, along with some of the perennial herbs that we've planted here, which is right now is the oregano and the sage, will be here for the benefit of the entire community. And that is the thing that's going on in a couple of the beds. For the beds that are not currently being gardened by gardeners in the community, we have seeded today with a cover crop of oat and peas. I chose that because we have been stirring up the soil. We made new beds. We broke up all the mycorrhizal fungal networks, and we disrupted the communication system that the plants use in order to share information with each other. The oats will help encourage the growth and development of the mycorrhizal fungal networks, and so it's really kind of fun to put that in there and think that we might be helping the plants communicate. The peas just act as a nitrogen fixer in the soil. That just helps provide health for the soil. It holds the soil together, and then when it grows to whatever height we don't want, then we just cut it down and it falls down on the soil and becomes more fertilizer for the soil. The last thing that I'd like to share with you today is that there are numerous other plantings in this area, one of which is this native rose bush that I put in here. Now this rose bush will grow, it will become shrubby, we can mow it down to keep it its size under control, but the thing that's really cool and special about this rose bush is that it makes the best hips. So this would be something of all the stuff that we have planted here that is not in the raised beds. This would be one thing that we can take advantage of is the hips on the rose bushes. And we have other natives planted here with the compass plant, some spring bulbs, and we have some St. John's wort. Unfortunately, it's going to be for flower benefit only because of the soil that it's being grown in. We can't use the root part of that as some people would like to do for medicinal purposes.